Good evening and welcome. You were saying good evening, I'm saying good evening. But people here don't know that we greet Goeienaand, Molweni, Apshin. My name is Trevor Manuel, I'm the Chancellor. We've come here for a celebration this evening. We're celebrating the wonderful achievements of people on our left here, and we're also celebrating the support of everybody else in the room this evening. So it's a celebration, but these celebrations happen in a particular way, and because it's not just a party on the street, we have to formally convene as the congregation of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology so that the degrees that we award this evening are properly recognized. So my job is to say, by the powers in me, I formally convene this assembly of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology. Thank you.
You may be seated.
Thank you, Chancellor. Good evening, Sanbonani, Molweni, Goeienaand. Before we begin with our wonderful ceremony, can we join together in a moment of silence for private prayer and meditation? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Chancellor, Minister Manuel, our Chairperson of Council, Mr. Bikwani, distinguished guests, our guest speaker, Commander Mukhele, member of staff, parents, friends, and to you, my dear graduates. Good evening and welcome. I want to welcome you to this joyous occasion where we celebrate the achievements of all of you today. This is indeed a very special day for all of you. It represents the culmination of years of study, hard work and sacrifice. Sacrifice is not only on your part, but also on the part of your parents, your partners, and your family members who provided financial support and moral support throughout your period of study. So this ceremony represents a celebration of a collective effort of all those who've contributed to all of your achievements. This year at CPUT, we'll be awarding 6,819 diplomas and degree in 12 graduation ceremonies. At these ceremonies, we'll be graduating 73 master's degrees and 16 doctoral degrees. Today, we'll be conferring qualifications on candidates in the Faculty of Engineering, a faculty that you'll agree with me has made great strides in advancing research and innovation at CPUT. Of the research niche areas which are supported at the university, both by us and the National Research Foundation, 4 of them are in engineering. The faculty has established itself a number of research centers, such as the Center for Instrumentation Research, the Flow Process Research Center, and the Advanced Manufacturing Technology Laboratory, which are actively engaged in commissioned work and contract research and in promoting our technology transfer agenda. The faculty has also initiated a postgraduate program in satellite engineering with strong international partnership and with the support of the Department of Science and Technology. And recently in November, some of you will remember that we launched the first nanosatellite, which we called Tsepiso. It was designed and built by some of the students who will be graduating today. Our university is currently the largest university in South Africa, in Western Cape, with over 33,000 students, including a strong contingent of international students who come from 70 different countries. We are regarded as a leading university of technology, having increased our research outputs to a point where we are comparable or even exceed those of other traditional universities. Our vision is to be at the heart of technology and innovation in Africa. And we believe that through technology and innovation, we'll be able to address critical issues relating to economic and social development, both in this region, nationally and continentally. As alumni of this institution, we hope that you also commit to this vision. Many of you will go to occupy influential positions in commerce and industry and in the public sector. We sincerely hope that you will not forget the communities which you come from. We hope that you will be able to use your special skills and your influence to put something back into those communities and to help contribute to their development. Together, we hope that you will help us realize our goal of creating futures, not only for our students, but for the broader society as well. We hope that wherever you are, you're going to continue to support this institution, and that your future professional development will take place here. With the rapid pace of change and globalization of knowledge, it will become imperative that wherever you are, you must continue to upgrade your knowledge and skills on a regular basis, and that we are ready to provide you that level of lifelong learning. We know that you as our alumni are the greatest ambassadors, and that's why we think you are so important to us. We are proud that you have achieved thus far, and sincerely hope that we have helped to place you on a trajectory that will lead you to an even greater success in the future. Congratulations once again for your fine achievement. We salute you as graduates of the Cape Peninsula University of Technology and wish you success in the future. Congratulations. I just want to make, before I introduce our guest speaker, to make a friendly reminder to all our graduates. Our Chancellor is here, and you want to get the best picture with him. Make sure that you look at that camera there, and you don't face down. You must face up straight to that camera. Ignore everybody who's sitting here. Just walk tall as a CPUT graduate. The picture that you're going to get one day will mean something. Believe you me, one day will mean something. It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Commander Mukhele. He is the CEO of the South African Maritime Society Authority, SAMSA, from 2008. He has been involved in transformation of the agency into an effective maritime regulator and authority, which champions the interest of South African maritime interests domestically and internationally. Since taking over as the CEO at SAMSA, he has led the process of transformation and repositioning South Africa's maritime industry into a key and economic strategic sector in line with the government's and aspirations of its programs. SAMSA, under his leadership, is currently driving policy and strategic initiatives to make South Africa one of a leading maritime nation and an international maritime center. We are focusing on building a national merchant fleet, coastal shipping services, port-based industry, and multimodal transport capacity, and using shipping platforms to create jobs and integrate the South African and African region and continent transport network for increased trade of the rest of Africa. He is involved in a number of specific initiatives, major of them being the development of maritime transport policy, the development of a shipping tax policy, the development of national maritime merchant fleet, the improvement of South Africa's strategic maritime security capacity, and the development of the national maritime cluster. Commander Mukhele has served in the South African Navy after obtaining his commandership qualifications in the then Soviet Union. He led the naval integration process as a co-chairperson within the South African Transitional Executive Council, the body charged with managing the country's transition to democracy in 1994. He was seconded by the African National Congress. Prior to his appointment as the CEO of SAMSA, he served as the executive manager at the National Ports Authority, and when he was there, he led a successful turnaround strategy to transform and modernize the marine business into an effective and competitive service under his leadership. For the first time, black people and women were introduced and trained and employed in technical and managerial roles in the port's marine business and various national marine career awareness programs. Mr. Mukhele is a well-exposed mariner who holds a BSc degree in ship navigation and command from the Caspian Higher Naval College in the Soviet Union. He has other qualifications which he obtained from Gibbs, Port and Terminal Management Certificate from Holland, and he is almost complete with his MBA degree from Wits University. Besides the academic and professional qualifications which he obtained at various universities, Mr. Mukhele has participated at international forums such as the International Association of Ports and Harbors, International Maritime Organizations, International Tug and Salvage Conference. Many of them were under his leadership. It is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to call upon Commander Tsietsi Mukhele to deliver his address.
Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Trevor Manuel, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Prince Nedutalu, members of the CPUT Council, members of the executive management of the university, deans of faculties, academic and admin staff of the CPUT, family and friends of our graduates. After the long introduction, I won't threaten you with a speech longer than you can tolerate. I wish to thank you for inviting me to attend this very important occasion of the graduation of the 2014 students coming out of the Faculty of Engineering. This surely must be a life-changing experience to all of them as they join the ranks of the graduate population of our country. The same should be the case with your families and friends, including communities, and I'm eternally humbled to be invited to be here to share in the moment with yourselves. As I was working my way through the topic and its content, at least in my head, a few thoughts came to mind, but I needed to remind myself that I'm not invited here to conduct the final class of all of you or to deliver the last lecture. I'm sure even if I were to try that tonight, the Toitoi Brigade of this university would be quick to throw me out and remind me that today is a day that belongs to our graduates and not to the speaker. However, on a personal note, I'm quite humbled to the leadership of the institution, seeing young people graduating under conditions of democracy. I remember at the end of our 5-year BSc courses that we attended, because those years we were persona non grata in our countries. We were not supposed to be known where we were. We could not join an open graduation ceremony like this one. We were called into the Vice Chancellor's office and confidentially issued our qualifications because they bore our real names we were using in the country, which we could not afford to expose. The second reality is to see people graduating to serve their countries immediately on completion of their qualifications. That is a far cry from where we've been as a country. On the occasion of your graduation, as you prepare to receive your well-deserved diplomas and degrees and take your qualifications in the world that awaits, allow me to engage with you on a few implications of your newly acquired status of being graduate citizens of our country, the continent, and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to impose and posit in your time of studies here at CPUT, it must have dawned on you that education as a system of teaching and learning is not just about knowledge being passed from one person to the other, but it always offers an opportunity for that entire community of educators and the students, together with their communities, to create new trends, to create new strengths, and to give new interpretations to issues of knowledge. And such knowledge is only knowledge to the extent that it is put to effect in addressing issues of society that includes individual development. It must have dawned as well that learning is not only when you've been able to take in information transacted between parties in the classroom and other information sources, but it is knowledge only to the extent that you can demonstrate the acquired capacity to synthesize and find application for such information in the domain and context of a state of being. Learning, therefore, is an active state of social being. Knowledge itself is the acquired capacity and competence to apply learned theories and practices to create better societies. On the issue of information per se, whilst powerful beyond measure, it remains no more than an instrument at your disposal in the creation and recreation of the state of being. Anything else is fiction. I would like to just talk to you, even off my speech, just on 3 issues that I thought are very important as you get into the world of being a graduate citizen of the country and the world. One has been doing a lot of work across the continent on behalf of our government and our country. And one of the key issues that will be confronting you as you step beyond the borders, the boundaries of your university and the borders of the country, is how much youth has to provide leadership on the continent of Africa. 75% of Africa's 1 billion people is people under the age of 35, of which 50% of the total population of Africa is people under the age of 19. And therefore, and I'm sure Dr. Manuel would engage on this issue, the issue that has been before on the motive forces of change in society has always been dealt with in the context of class analysis. But in a continent where 75% of people are under the age of 35, the challenge therefore becomes, what role do young people and youth have to play in the future that we all are creating for our continent? I even want to risk a proposition that we are sitting at the dawn of the age of youth, where more and more responsibilities in building societies, in building industries, in providing leadership is going to be reaching people at ages younger and younger with time. And therefore, in that context, the challenge is, what do you do when you step beyond the borders of here? Are you just an engineer, or are you a builder of society? And if you are a builder of society, how engaged are you in issues of resolving social context and social challenges? I really wish to say to all of you that Africa and our country is calling upon all of you to go out there and create a new context in which society can start believing more in the ability and capacity of young people. Not only to be out there as people demanding, but to be out there as builders of society and builders of industries. As for the institution itself, I'm sure they're very proud today to be able to produce people of your caliber, but I'm sure they're doing so with a little bit of anxiety as to whether you'll represent the totality of the values of the institution you're coming from. In concluding in the moment that I've been given to talk to you, I really wish to say to you, the continent of Africa requires each one of your sons and daughters. As for you who now belong to the few who are very educated in disciplines that we need to rebuild the continent, it is only by the extent to which you deploy your skills, your knowledge, and your expertise in building a better society that you shall have played to the full potential of the youth of our times and assume the positions of leadership in industries, in government, in civil society, and in the world at large. I therefore wish you, as you enter that world, 3 things only. I wish that you go out there, learn that you have a lot to learn. And secondly, learn to assume your right position as future leaders of our continent. And thirdly, that the future we're talking about is already upon you. And that future is today, and we are looking forward to meeting you as our leaders in a few months and years to come. I thank you all.
us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our ways. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe.
La luce che tu dai
I pray we'll find your
nel
light
cuore resterà
and hold it in our
a
heart.
ricordarci che
When stars go out each night,
l'eterna stella sei nella mia preghiera.
let this be our prayer.
Quanta fede c'è
When shadows fill our day,
lead us to a place,
guide us with your grace.
give us faith so we'll be safe. Sogniamo il mondo senza più violenza, un mondo di giustizia e speranza. Ognuno terra, ma nel suo cielo, simbolo di pace, di fraternità. La mia poche ci
We
dai,
ask that life be
intelligent
kind
rosse,
and watch us from above.
ognuno trovi un
We
modello.
hope if so we'll find
Intelligent rosse,
some soul to love. Let this be our prayer. Let this be our prayer.
just like every child.
Just like every child needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace.
Give us faith so we'll be safe. E la perché c'è solo in noi. Senso che ci
Chancellor, I request you to confer diplomas and degrees on the candidates in the Faculty of Engineering that I present to you.
By the powers vested in me, we will confer diplomas and degrees on the candidates presented. Thank you.
Before we call upon the graduands this evening, I wish to announce the criteria for